Don't ever shy away from your talents, your gifts, especially if you feel it inside of you. Don't ever shy away from that. And I think that's what I want people to take away from it, is to not be fearful and to just go for everything that you want.
Okay, Dorian. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I have a question that
Yes.
just kind of started off and go into it. But like, what do you love most about like the theatrical experience?
I think just sharing stories and telling stories. I think that like embodying a story, especially when you find stories that do feel so close to home and like close to you, I feel like that's even more fulfilling. I think it's like to be able to share those stories to a wider group of people. I think that's my favorite part. Back in like I couldn't even tell you, probably like kindergarten, I want to say, like first grade. I think that was like my first ever piece of theater I had ever done, and it was Humpty Dumpty. And my mom, I will never forget, my mom made my Humpty Dumpty suit, like the egg type of thing, out of like blankets, and like it was insane. But like that was my first ever experience with like theater. Could probably not tell you what happened during it or what happened during that time, but like I think my first official piece of theater was probably like high school. But it mostly came from like my brother being in like show choir and me being in show choir and like choir, and I was like, oh well, let me try out this new thing. And so I kind of was like late to the game with theater. It was like freshman year of high school. And it was like the Music Man, and from then I was like, yes, this is what I want to be doing. It feels like a compilation of everything that I love, which is like being big and being bold and also singing and dancing and like just working with a bunch of people. Yeah.
What is like a favorite role of yours you have done?
That like I've ever done?
Yeah, that you ever done.
It's crazy because I feel like my first time ever like feeling like an actor, I feel like was Space. I don't know if you guys saw Space or not. Yes. But I think like even though my role wasn't super huge by any means, like that was like the first time where I was like I felt super embodied in like a character. I literally even have a tattoo that says like Space because it meant just so much to me, and it was like I don't know, it just opened a door to be like, these are the kind of stories I want to tell. This is what it feels like when you do fully embody and take on a role in a character. Like I remember walking off stage, I think almost every performance, like head to toe body like tingling. Like, because I opened up the second act, I want to say, and it was like this crazy like pulling on a boat because it was about like Hurricane Katrina and like the Great Floods, like from way back in the day. But yeah, that was like the first time like I was like, whoa, yeah, I'm doing the thing. I am here.
How did you get to Chicago? Why Columbia, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
that is a journey in itself. So pretty much like we were, as John knows, the Academy for the Performing Arts back in Chagrin Falls, Ohio. We start to talk about like auditioning for schools and what it looks like, and kind of gets you prepared for that like upcoming thing like for college and whatnot. It was just like a lot of talks about schools, and I didn't even know if I wanted to go to school for theater to begin with. So it was just a lot of word of mouth. Like Columbia was one of like those schools where I was like, oh, maybe I should apply there just to see what happens. Like also like Chicago seems beautiful. I've never been before, and so like my first time ever coming to Chicago was for Columbia. So we did that, and I was like, whoa, this seems stunning. But a lot of it like literally came from like the Academy and people just like talking about it, and I was like, New York seems too big right now. What else can I do to get out of Ohio? Because I'm not saying in Ohio for school, even though I did get accepted to schools in Ohio, it was just like I don't want to. So yeah, a lot of word of mouth, and then I was finally sold when I was able to like see the school, see what Chicago was about, and yeah. And I've been in love with it ever since. I feel like I've just taken off in a different direction that I didn't even know that I could go in as an artist and as a person.
What do you think is something that you overcame that has taken your artistic journey and your career to the next level?
I think just overcoming, I don't know, I think just being afraid to try new things, like overcoming that. And I think that that's, excuse me, for sure has opened me up to so many other aspects other than just theater. Like, I don't consider myself as just a theater artist, but it's because of not being afraid and just like being myself. And I think overcoming that, like scared of what else is out there, or like another piece of me, or like where I can take myself, but allowing me to just be a vessel and to try a bunch of different things. I feel like that's what limits a lot of people is fear. And it's like when you throw out the fear, then you don't have to worry about those things and you can just experience and take in everything around you. And that's when you grow.
You are I would say, a singer, actor. Okay, well, I wanna know, like, what are some other things that you like to do? So, like, I know you do fashion.
Yes.
Do you see yourself, like, in the fashion industry?
Oh my God. And like that goes back to literally what I was just saying. I think since I have thrown away that idea of fear, it's like it makes me want to do everything. And I think that, yes, although I am a singer, actor, dancer, and that's what I'm getting a degree in, that's not my entire being and my entire like presence. So like I want to do visual art, I want to creative direct. Like I creative direct a lot of the stuff that I do just for Instagram. Like, and so like Instagram and visual art and like just seeing certain visuals and being able to like bring it to life. I think that's one of my biggest things. But also, yeah, fashion, of course. I just have always been passionate about that, and I think that my parents have seen it. And like, I almost wanted to be a fashion designer when I was younger, actually. So I used to like draw designs and like had like sketches of jeans, and my dad still brings it up to this day because he remembers, and it had like a little double D. If that was like the little initial that I would like write on the pant, like whenever I was like designing them. So like, yeah, I've always just had an eye for that kind of thing, and like always just wanted to be a part of it. But even outside of fashion though, like I think modeling for sure too, and I don't know, just everything. I just want to do it all. All of it.
And that's the thing that we've been talking about, is that a lot of these artists are not just one thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing a lot of shit. And I also think it's so encouraging and inspiring for me.
Yeah.
Because I think for a long time, like, I've been kind of stuck in this bubble of, I'm an actor, I don't do music either. But there's like so much more shit to do out there.
And once you realize that, I think that it almost makes you a better actor because you've had those experiences to bring into that role, or to bring into like that like person. I don't know. I felt that at least.
Let's talk a little bit about Dawn. So
Yes.
how you found that project, how you came into your life, and like the process.
Yeah. So a lot of it was just like Chrissy. Like Chrissy like randomly reached out to me, I think over Instagram, I want to say. Or had my number because we were in what class was it? It was a very good class. Anyways, like the teacher was amazing. Like amazing conversations came out of that class. But I met Chrissy through that class. But she randomly, I think we had each other's number. We like had each other's Instagrams, and I remember she just texted me one day and she was like, "I have this project I've been like working on, and as soon as I was writing it and like got done with it, like you were one of the first people on my mind to be a part of it." And I was like, "Wow, thank you." And she kind of like broke it down a little bit and told me like what it was about, and I was like, "Oh, this seems kind of exciting, like very, very cool material. I've never worked on anything like this before." But yeah, it just literally started with like an Instagram DM, and then obviously like we met over Zoom and like or FaceTime and like talked through it. But like other than that, it was just mostly Chrissy, and I was just like, "Oh, cool, we're creating a short film." Yeah.
Have you ever been in any like short films before, or?
So I've done ones like through Columbia and through just other people, like word of mouth, like people have reached out to me to do other outside projects that didn't even have to do with Columbia. But yeah, so I've done like little things like that, but that was like the first time like we've ever traveled super far out and had like full thing. Like Chrissy really had it all set up, and I was just like, "You have a van to transport all of it?"
No, it was doing. Yeah, I guess I want to ask, do you see yourself doing, like which one do you like better? Do you like stage or do you like film? Do you want to get into more film?
So I feel like I'm in such a weird spot right now with everything, just because it's like live theater's not happening. It's just not happening. And as much as we wanted to, I don't think I could see it happening the way that we used to have it for a while. So right now, like I'm diving more into film and like seeing what it's about, and I feel like that's where a lot of the money's going to come from, anyways. When you're an actor, but I don't know. Like I said, I just want to do it all. Like I want to get my hands like in everything I possibly can. And being and I'm in an advanced on camera class right now. So we're talking like just like a lot about like how to prepare for those things, and like just hearing certain feedback has made me be like, oh wait, I could be good at this too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think more so right now, I think I want to focus more on camera stuff. But whenever theater does come back, then obviously theater at some point,
Yeah.
along with hopefully the million other things that I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess, what do you want the community to take away from your art?
Away from my art.
From your art, your craft.
Ooh,
Yeah.
it's a big one.
Yeah.
I guess just to not limit yourself and to do any and everything that you want to. I always just want to leave something that feels not like impactful in a way that like I'm always leaving a mark, like I have to leave a mark, but I think just like being authentically you and creating the things that you want to create. And I think that showing that in every way possible and not letting the world not see you. Like don't ever shy away from your talents, your gifts, especially if you feel it inside of you. Don't ever shy away from that. And I think that's what I want people to take away from it, is to not be fearful and to just go for everything that you want.
It's another little question, but
Yes.
in a couple sentences, could you maybe say, like, if you have like maybe a goal with what you want to do with your art, not necessarily what you get out of it, but what someone who's observing it might get out of it?
That is such a good question. Really, really good question. Oof. Stumped me.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
That's a
good.
question.
That's good.
It's loaded.
It is very loaded. I just
Especially,
want to-
and you could even talk it as a black person.
Yeah, then that's exactly where I was about to go with it too. I think just to recognize black art and black artists and to see all the different sides of us, like, oh my God, it literally, that just, when you just said that and what I was already thinking, it reminds me of this quote that Langston Hughes said that we were learning about in my African American history class, and basically it went along the lines of like, I don't care if black people like what I'm doing. I don't really necessarily care about if white people like it, but like I just want you to see me as me and to experience like all these different facets and pieces and parts of me.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most impactful part, and that's what I would want to give out and like for people to see. It's like these are all the different pieces and parts of me. I'm not just one thing. I'm not just a black queer artist, but I'm so much more than that. Like I'm gonna be ugly in the morning and I'm gonna party at night and I'm going to do my homework in between there and keep with my girls up there. But yeah, just seeing all the pieces and parts of who I am. I don't know if y'all have seen When I Get Home, Solange's When I Get Home film.
Yes.
Come on.
No, you gotta.
One of probably the most stellar pieces of work, and it's all done so simply. Like the entire project, when you really break it down, it's so simple what she did, but it just seems so complex, and it is for sure. But so I think being able to creative direct, star in, like help costume design, like
Yeah.
every aspect of a piece that like I created. I think that that's my dream project, whatever it is. And I think that that's the reason why I love Instagram so much, because I am allowed to do that and take ownership of the visual and the placement and the creative direction I want to go in. Like, as much as I love collaborating, I think that there's something that I love and that I take away from being able to say that I did something myself. And like having that be like, oh, I did that and I can do more of that. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's Dorian, right?
That's